Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Next Gen MLM Hacks Radio. This one's going to be a very powerful one, so stay tuned. For the past 2 years, I've put my blinders on and focused on learning from the most forward-thinking marketers on the planet. Now armed and skilled, I've committed myself to fail fast and act without knowing how towards my $1 million business. The burning question is, how will I do it without creating frenemies or going into debt, all from square one? This podcast is here to give you the answers. Listen, watch, and follow along as I learn, apply, and share new marketing strategies to grow my network marketing business using only today's best online sales funnels, business tools, and methods. My name is E-rik Soo, and welcome to Next Gen MLM Hacks Radio. All right, I'm back. So today I'm going to be talking about 2 pieces to start your network marketing business. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and smash the subscribe button so that you can get more content like this. And if you've been a follower, go ahead and leave a comment or feedback and let me know what you think about this video. All right, so let's get started. I've been getting some questions about how to start a network marketing business. And, in the beginning when I first started, it was pretty much, just sell what the product that you were a part of. Just sell it to your friends and family, people you know, your network, people in your contact list, and just share it with them. And that was the key, or I guess that was the advice from the beginning. Now, over the years, I have learned other techniques, other methods, and I want to share with you something that I think is super powerful for you to start your network marketing business if you are new, or this is something that you may want to consider if you are someone who's been in network marketing and might be a little stuck, right? And looking for a new way to invigorate your business, to get new sales growth, and so forth. And so I want to share these 2 pieces that I found to be the most powerful ways to get your business going in the right direction. Now, I have to start with a few stories before I get into this main piece, okay? Now, like I said in the beginning, when I first started, this was back in 2005 when I first started. I had a fitness club, I had clientele that I could share the information with, and I had a little, procedure in doing so. What I basically did was, I would market my fitness club, I would encourage people to come out to take a fitness class, to get in shape, to come and experience my fitness center. Now, in the process of them coming in for that, I would also talk to them about their nutrition. Now, I'm in a health and wellness company, so it was an easy transition for me to just discuss with them how their nutritional program was going and whether or not they would see a benefit with the program that I could recommend for them. Okay, so there was a little process. It was pretty much A, get them into the door, and then B, introduce them to the product that I had for them. Okay, so that was pretty much the key for me early on. Okay, so I leveraged my facility. I used marketing to attract them into the facility, and then I would go ahead and introduce the product I had to them as a solution to help them achieve their fitness goals as well. Okay, and it worked very well actually. It was actually very smooth transition from talking about fitness into the product that I had, and it wasn't really, in my opinion, very salesy. Okay, and so I had about good 80% of the people who visited my facility purchased the product that I had. So it was actually a very effective way to promote the product using my facility, that is. Now, so I didn't really think about too much about what I was doing. It was just a part of my business, right? And so I know that for many of you, the difference between you and me right now is that you may not be a fitness trainer, and you also may not have a fitness facility. Now, right now, as I speak, I do not have a fitness facility. So I am reinventing myself, if you will, and using a different strategy so that I can replicate, if you will, my fitness studio experience. Okay, so And then, so I want to share with you some of the key things that I've come to discover that I didn't realize at that time what I was doing, but now I kind of have put it together, if you will. And so I want to share with you the two key pieces to start a business. And I kind of was restarting my network marketing business because I sold my facility in 2014. Okay, and that whole if you will, attraction to me was gone. The facility, that is, it was gone. And so I kind of had to restart and rebuild myself. The strategy I use to promote my products, how do I attract the clients, and so forth, right? And so I had to restart and kind of start over and do that whole side of marketing. So now, so the key I want to share with you, or another story I should say, I want to share with you is that I realized that a lot of the people on my team, they did not have the facility that I had. And so their struggles were basically, so how do I attract people to tell them about the products that I have or the products that we sell? And so it was always a struggle because, they didn't have a facility. They weren't fitness trainers. And so what was the strategy for them so that they could kind of replicate what I was doing without the facility, right? And so that was kind of the interesting dilemma my team had. And so at that time, I really didn't, how would you say, think about it too much, other than the encouragement has always been meet more people and share the information with them. Meet more people, share the information with them. And so that was always the kind of the hard part when people had 9-to-5 jobs. They had limited abilities to network with people. And so this is early in 2005 through 10 approximately. And so it was always a hard challenge for them to, grow their business and grow their team due to the fact that they kind of had a limited abilities to attract new people and so forth. And not a lot was being taught with regards to how to attract people. And, other than just go out to public areas, go to places where there are a lot of people, network with people, and so forth. That kind of was the old strategy and advice. Now, I have nothing against that advice, but at the same time, I know better now that there are other ways to use. There are other ways to attract clients and to grow a business. Okay, so basically, what I wanted to share with you guys are two pieces to start your network marketing business or to restart right now. Okay, so let me just dive right into it, and hopefully those stories kind of relate to you, resonate with you, and if you are kind of in the same boat with regards to not being able to attract clients, not being able to promote your products and so forth, I think these next two pieces that I want to share with you can really help with your new strategy, if you will. Okay, so let me just dive right into it. Now, for those who are listening on podcast, iTunes, don't worry about it. You can I'll put the link in the post so that you can see if you want what I'm writing on this whiteboard. Okay, but anyhow, the first key piece that I want to talk about is so important. Okay, as you probably know, I've been studying under Russell Brunson, and he was talking about the two things that all entrepreneurs need so that they can begin scaling their business and actually grow it, right? And so it's kind of tailing onto what he had said. So the first piece he had said was know your what, okay? What does that mean? That means that you have to know what you are offering. And the big piece here, you might be thinking, well, you're offering your product for your network marketing business, right? Whatever that product is. And although that might be the case, it's not just a product that you're selling. And you might be thinking, oh, you're selling hope, and you're selling dreams and the feeling of what the product does, right? And honestly, that's good too. But you know what? You're kind of you're doing that, but at the same time, there's more to it. And what you're selling really is, drum roll please, you're really selling an offer. And there's this idea that, okay, what you have is great, but then, like I said in the previous episode, you could probably find what you're promoting somewhere else, okay? And there's some competition out there. Although you may think that your product is the best, that may not be the case, right? And so I could just think of 10 off the top of my head, if I wanted to, nutritional product lines in the MLM space. You could probably find another 5 or so of jewelry businesses. You might find another in direct sales, like selling cookware, things like that. But anyhow, the point is this: you have to know what your what is. Okay, what is your offer? Okay, and I should put, what is your offer? And again, it's more than just the product itself. And if you can nail what your offer is, and then I think that key piece will take you further. Now, how do you figure out what your offer will be? Well, think about it for a second. What problems do you present to a person when you promote your product? Is there a problem, a follow-up problem that you could resolve because of your product, right? So if you're in a nutritional space, for example, maybe that product you have is a weight loss product. But what is the problem that comes up when somebody wants to use that product and they want to lose weight? Maybe the problem is they're not motivated enough to continue. So what could you provide in your offer so that they can continue being motivated, right? So you see what I'm talking about? And so if you know what your what is, basically what your offer is, then I think you can be a little bit more attractive at the same time, and more, if you will, something that people will want. Okay, so knowing what your what is very crucial. Now, hopefully that makes sense to you guys, and maybe I can give you an example real quick here. So I'll give you an example of this guy. His name's Russell Brunson, and he feels like his main offer is ClickFunnels. Okay, now ClickFunnels is a software that people utilize to promote themselves online, to invite people into the world, his world, and it could be anyone's world, but his world, and through the software called ClickFunnels, and that's also the main offer that he has. Now, you may not realize it, but he also has a lot of educational products that come along with ClickFunnels, so that it's just not ClickFunnels. Do you see what I'm saying? And so think of your product. Is there more to it that perhaps you can create, if your company hasn't created, that you could bundle with your main product to make it an offer? So now you have a what. Okay, and once you have the what, that's where the creativity can come in as to how you can market it. Okay, so hopefully that sparks some thoughts into your head about this particular key part. Okay, now you must be thinking also, well, what is the second part? And let me just dive right into it, and I could summarize it a little bit. Okay, the second part of all this to start your business, now that you know what your what is and your offer, is to know how. How. Now, we must know how to market this product and get the message out into the world. Now, for me, if you remember my story about my fitness center, I knew how to do it. It was because I knew what my program was. I knew what my offer was. I was attracting people into the facility. That was my strategy. And once I'd gotten to that point, my how strategy of how to promote it was to put them through an assessment as you will, in an initial consultation, and use that consultation to introduce the product to my prospects or clients. Okay, and so I use the how, or the how was through the consultations with my clients. Okay, now because I don't have the facility anymore, and many of you probably don't who are watching this or listening to this, you may not have a facility, which is awesome, which is great, which is fine. We need to have a vehicle now of how can we promote our products. Okay, so in my opinion, one of the best strategies is using something called webinars, and to convert people through that webinar into customers. Okay, so they have webinar funnels through ClickFunnels, and I'll bring it up again. That's a great software, and I'll put a link into it if you want to go check it out. The ClickFunnels, and so the webinar funnel is basically a way for people to register for the webinar, for you to follow up with them, for you to collect their emails, and for you to provide a replay also, so that the people can watch the replay if they didn't show up to the webinar. Now, the webinar approach is one of the best ways, in my opinion, as I've seen people grow their business very quickly through it. And there's also something called the perfect webinar, which is part of how to deliver your message during the webinar, but that's another podcast. But I think the webinars is a really good way to do it. And that's a strategy where you're able to do what's called one to many. One being you, and many to being everyone who shows up to the webinar. Now, you might be wondering, how do you get people to attend the webinars? Okay, this isn't probably in a future podcast, but for the most part, how do you get people to sign up for a webinar? All starts with a curious headline. Okay, as well as a lot of people talk about promoting, or I should say buying ads and promoting yourself through Facebook, so that you can drive traffic to your webinar. But that headline of that webinar has to be like super curious. It makes people like jump on board, and so forth. Now, there's a lot of other things that you can be doing too on the front end before people get to the webinar, so that you have a warm market versus a cold market. Now, a lot of times one of my mistakes is that I created the webinar and I just threw it out there hoping people would sign up. But the thing is, what I've learned is that it's not as effective, because you're talking to a market that they don't even know who you are. And so building a relationship, I found, and I think I'm at that point in a stage of my business, is that I am rebuilding, if you will, the cold to warm. In other words, I am introducing a lot of people to my free giveaways, my free content, and things of that form, so that I can build, if you will, a small list of people that I could ascend them to a webinar. Now, if you're really looking at it, there's like this value ladder, and this is a whole new topic. But just real quick here, that if you have all this free stuff here, and and you have traffic over here, okay, and you're marketing to here, all these people, and this is people. And then hopefully these people will come and grab this free stuff. And then from this free stuff, you're bringing them into the webinar. Okay? And that's kind of the idea behind this whole thing here. So if you know what your what is and your offer, you plug that into your webinar. But then, and this part right here is how, through this webinar, how you're going to promote your products. Now, you take this whole part here and your free stuff to build the list. okay? And then you market that. You market these people who come in, you build it, and you get them to your webinar. Okay, so just to recap here real quick, that there's 2 keys to start your network marketing business. And that first key is knowing the what, okay? If you can discover what, okay, most times if it's network marketing people, you already have your products that you want to promote, okay? But it's more than the products again. It is the offer around that product that is what you should be concentrating on, okay? And so hopefully that makes sense. And then a key strategy here, knowing how to deliver that, how to make that sale through a webinar, I think is probably as important, if not the most important part, because without this webinar, you just have a what, but then what are you going to do with it, right? See, if I had my fitness club and I didn't promote any products or any additional things to my clients, okay, then pretty much I just have the facility, right? And so I would have been missing the boat on how to help my clients and serve them. It's really the main point behind this, right? And so make sure that what I'm encouraging you all to do is go pick that book up, right? I'll give you the link. Read that book and how to become that expert so that you can deliver this message or deliver a webinar, and in that webinar have a message so that you are able to sell your products, okay? Now, this whole idea of building traffic and everything, and giving free giveaways to get people on a list, and then sending them to a webinar. I might do another webinar, or I should say I might do another podcast just to talk about that particular part of it. But for the most part, these 2 keys are very important, okay? And just keep these in mind. Now, if you really liked what you have learned today, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and comment and feedback in iTunes if you are listening. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. There you go. Wasn't that an awesome episode? Hey, you know what would be cool? You taking a few seconds to leave me an iTunes feedback. You never know, I might give you a shout out for it. Are you teaching your downline outdated MLM marketing strategies even though you know that there's a better way? Well, here's your chance to do something about this. Check this out. I put together a free 5-part video recruiting training series teaching you the latest marketing strategies to grow your business. To get this free master pack emailed straight into your inbox, subscribe to this podcast at www.nextgenmlmhacksradio.com. Again, the course is free, and this will help your team and help you understand what I am doing. Go download it now at www.nextgenmlmhacksradio.com.